Hey, what's happening? What's happening out there, folks? Peace and blessing. Blessing. So, peace in. Welcome to another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm your host, Tony Ray Harvey, and you know where I'm from. Southwest part, Sacramento, Greenhaven Pocket area. That's where we podcast and broadcasting. Let's get right down into it. Sacramento Kings snapped a 4-game losing streak in Miami, beating the Heat 127-111 behind 42 points produced by Zach LaVine, who had 2 points in that loss the other night in Houston. I think it was 121-95. Yes, he did. Now, the Kings did win 127-111. Do want to get that out there. Let's make that clear. But I want to read this quote again that I wrote in the last entry from the last podcast. We don't have wiggle room to try to work our way into the game. You can't do it. When you come out on that third quarter, we have to be ready to go. Like there was a play that was called and it wasn't ran properly. Those are the things that we can't do. It was on the board and everybody knew it. That quote came from Sacramento Kings head coach Doug Christie. And he was kind of disappointed in something that was going on at halftime of that loss in Houston. And he was obviously alluding to something Zach LaVine didn't do. Okay, now, of course, he didn't call Zach out by name, but we knew exactly who he was talking about because when the question was asked about him, it was specific that they were talking about Zach LaVine. So and I think that was Chris Biederman from the Sacramento Bee who asked him that question. But anyway, he came out on fire for this game, for this victory. He scored 29 points in the first half. So he recovered. But I will say this because, I did hear him, what he said, at the game to the broadcasting team. Hey, shut me up. Hey, shut me up. You haven't been playing well. So obviously Doug and the coaching staff, had to get you in the room and say, hey, what's going on with you right now? Because we can go and do this and do that. And you got it together. Now, I'm saying all this stuff with respect because, a lot of people have been saying some things about what's been happening here. You just look, sometimes, Zach, lifeless. But if you can play like that every game and get your team started, Maxime Reynaud, he did start tonight, the rookie at center. If you can start like that, this team have a chance of winning. And that's really what anybody want to see coming from you. Now, I'm glad I'm so appreciative that you had a game like this tonight, Zach. No problem. You and the Kings overall. They did like the Bing. And I was listening to some crazy stuff earlier today, with Kevin Garnett. It was real funny, him and Paul Pierce, that, the Beam got cobwebs on it and everything like that. So, Zach, you're part of that. You made that happen. But I will say, I'm still not impressed with this because, as I said for these last few games, these type of games are pride games, okay? Pride games. That's coming from me. You coming out to playing for pride, protecting your pride, catching up with your pride, whatever it is. That's what it is to me. But if you play like that, and we know that you can because you're one of the best shooters, offensive players in the league, I have nothing good to say about it. Nothing good to say about it. But I do have to give you your credit, your respect tonight for what you did because you were phenomenal. Okay? Let's see. While we get all into it, as I get into this summary. Once again, Sacramento Kings won 127-111. I think that's the highest scoring output as far as margin of victory this season. I want to say that Mark Jones, because he was on the call tonight, and he's back in South Beach. I know he appreciate that. I know he always look forward to calling those games in his home state. Of course, he has a home here as well. Zach LaVine scored 42 points, 29 in the first half. The Sacramento Kings win 127-111 in the victory over the Miami Heat in Kaseya Center on Saturday night. That win ends that 4-game loser streak right there. And I think they improved to 9-3 on the road for the season. LaVine made 12 of 24 shots from the field, 8 of 13 in three-point territory, and 10 of 11 at the line, at the foul line. He added 6 rebounds and a steal for the Kings, who are now 6 and 17 on the season. So what's that? About 26. You don't want 26% of your games. I think that is. All right. Yeah. So they in that, and they also really lucked up. They don't usually win in Miami on the road. So the Heat, they did fall to 10-2 on the season. But hey, excellent game. I'm glad you worked that out. They play another game here in Indianapolis. On Monday, December the 8th, before returning home, where they will play the Denver Nuggets on December the 11th, Thursday, December the 11th. So, all right, though, okay? So they ended that losing streak real quick, and possibly they have another chance to get one before they return home in Indianapolis against the Pacers, who have not been doing extremely well themselves. But just some excellent performances all through the night here, folks. I mean, let me get right into it. I think, Keegan Murray, he had 16 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks for the Kings. Rookie, Nique Clifford. We've been waiting for him to get down, and he got down tonight. He had a season-high 15 points, and he added 6 rebounds off the bench. We know he's going to come around. These are 2 promising rookies that the Sacramento Kings fans, can hang their hat on. There's no doubt about that. I knew Nique, he will get it. He's not always going to have some games like this, but the more time he spends on the floor and the more experience he get, the more aggressive that he gets, okay, the more confidence that he builds up, he's going to be all right. He's going to be a great player for this organization. No doubt about it. I'm really proud of it because tonight he was aggressive. He was taking those shots, and that's really what it is. We know he can do a lot of things, but he was going for his shot, and that was needed to be. The Kings won this game on defense because, as we know, the Miami Heat is one of the top offensive teams in the league as far as pace. All right? They can get out and they can run. They did not have Davion Mitchell, the former Sacramento King. He was out tonight. I forget what the injury was, but he did not play. He's basically their floor leader. So they did not have his service. All right. Keegan had his 16-point. Nique had his 15 points off the bench. DeMar DeRozan had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. And Max, who started for the first time in his career, he had a double-double. 12 points and 10 rebounds. And Russell Westbrook had 12 points and 10 assists and 3 steals. He also eclipsed another historical mark in his career as far as steals. I think he now has 1,948 or something like that in steals that he went by. It was give or take, 1 or 2. I forget who he passed up in that category, but right on. To see something like that happen here in Sacramento is a blessing. It is a blessing because we don't know what next season holds, but this season right here is real precious to have that. He's still a young man to me, much younger than I am. Have Russell Westbrook in a uniform to, do what he do. And he's doing it too. Jaime Jaquez, UCLA standout. I think he's in his third year too. He had 27 points. He usually has some good games against Miami. I would love to see him in a Sacramento King uniform, but he's a swing forward, swing player. So right now, that's Nique Clifford's spot. Okay, yes, he had 27 points, 6 rebounds for the Heat, who fall to 14-10, and yes, they are now 10-3 at home. So the Kings snuck in there and got one of those three wins on that floor. Simone Fontecchio, 20 points, 7 rebounds, while Norman Powell, he had 18 points for Miami. Bam Adebayo, he only had 9 points on 4 of 9 shooting in 24 minutes. As I said, this was really the Kings defense that made this happen. Miami did play last night. They lost to Orlando. We got that down pat. So they knew the Kings knew what they had to do in order to win this game because they had plenty of rest. They hadn't played since Wednesday, since they lost in Houston. So this was the time to get this team. And plus, they didn't have a floor general in Davion Mitchell. So I'll give them credit there. But like I said, and I'm not going to stop and I'm not going to hold it back. Okay, I'm not impressed. All right, I can get there if you win this game in Indiana, because if you do, you don't already beat the Denver Nuggets once. You can tie it up 2-2 for this season. You don't have to deal with them probably again unless you somehow make the play-in playoffs and have to face them again. But you can tie it up here Wednesday. But one game at a time, folks. One game at a time, Sacramento Kings fans. And they do have Indianapolis in Indiana. I guess everybody already know how I feel about Indianapolis. Go in there, Kings, and get that win. Okay? Get that win. Because they're going to feel like they can get you because they're at home. But right now, to keep that momentum going and come back home, to go to one center with another win, be great. Absolutely great. Yeah, old Zach got 42 points. I'm glad he shook it off and he bounced back. Keep that kind of going. Keep that energy going into the next game, and the next game after that, you guys have a chance. I will say one thing about this, because Maxime Renault, he did have 3 blocks in this game. He did start. He did start, which is a great sign too, because he was also part of that, them getting off. I love what Drew Eubanks been doing. He's definitely a plus, but he should be coming out off the bench in that role, because the more experience that Max can get right now until Domantas Sabonis returns. No, he did not play tonight. That's Max spot coming off the bench. Okay, and it looked like that they can pair these two together. And I'm talking about Domantas Sabonis and Maxime Renault. They look like they can do that. Maxime, I think that's how Mark Jones pronounced it. Maxime Renault. Say he got a call from his uncle from Switzerland. Good, I love hearing stuff like that. That we always focus on these game stories and stuff like that. That's usually what I get paid to. I try to write as many human interest feature stories as possible. But just hearing something like that, and I think I want to say it was Kevin Gleason from KHTK 1140, the Drive guys, said he had tweeted something out, and he got a like from another Renault. It wasn't Maxime, about something positive that he said about the 7'1" rookie out of Stanford and stuff. But I just love hearing stories coming out of there from that aspect. I mean, like DeMar DeRozan, he talking about mental health issues, and I'm really kind of not embedded, but really kind of close to that. Stay close to that and try to be aware of those type of things, because I know how serious it is in in the black community, especially with the black males stuff these days. People coming out, talking about those more and more often. I really appreciate hearing those stories and what he has to offer, because he inspires people when he does that. Now, I am talking about DeMar DeRozan and your mental well-being. And then we hear these things about what's happening with Nique. I think they all have unique stories, all of them, up and down the line. They really do. But just to hear something like that coming out of Switzerland, about Max, those feel good stories. Those human interest stories, they hit you right here from the bottom of my heart. Okay, the Kings. Well, they made 49 of 53 shots in this one. From the floor, 52.7%. There was 14 to 33 beyond the arc. They had 42.4%. And Zach LaVine had a lot to do with that. He hit 8 3-pointers on his own. And it was 15 of 21 from the charity stripe. 71.4%, which is a big improvement for the game in Houston Rockets, because they only went to the line 10 times and they only made 5. So they was 50% of it. All right. They made 71% of them tonight. Good. Really good. Kings got off to a great start, man. Man, they got off to a great start. They wasn't messing around with this team, man. Okay, but that first half, Zach LaVine. That's your guy. Zach LaVine. Okay, what does Zach do? I thought I had mentioned all of that. Yes. Okay, he had, I had all that stuff together. I guess miscalculated it and stuff like that. But anyway, I mean, I was trying to see what he had did in that first quarter, because in that first quarter he had 18 points, which really got the things rolling with the Kings. He did have 18 points. I don't want to waste any more time on that right now. I got to go back over there. But anyway, read the description, comments section. That's where I put all the game summary in there, and that'll get you caught up on that. I'm not going to keep you guys that long tonight. We already know what's happening right here. I'll say it again. Shut my mouth. Shut my mouth, because of course I will be watching that game on Monday in Indianapolis. That game should be starting about 5 o'clock as well. That's in the Midwest. We are 2 hours behind them, so that'll be 7. I think Indianapolis. Indiana is kind of weird, because at some point in Indiana, that's when Eastern time zone start, where the Central time zone breaks off, right there in the middle of the state. So I don't know. I should know these things, but anyway, we won't get into that. Shut my mouth when I come. Okay, quiet me, silence me. Just want to see you do better, brother. That's all there is. All of you. You know. But you want to impress me? Start by winning this game on Tuesday, and I will be in favor of the game on Wednesday, because you have already beat the Denver Nuggets. And if you are first time to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. If you just been here several times, hit the like button. Regardless of what is going on here, I'll get 20, 30, 40, 50. Hey, I'm still going to talk to you. I'm okay with that. I'm still going to do these summaries with you folks. So I appreciate that, from the bottom of my heart, that you can tune in and give me a little bit of your time. The audio quality has improved. Been working on that all summer, so I think they got that. I got a couple more microphones, to make that happen. And we still working on, some visual things as well. But so far, so good. And if anybody see anything how I can improve this channel, please put it in the leave a comment, please be respectful though, because I'm going to be respectful. Okay, I'm not going to be disrespectful back, because if I don't like it, if this is just too offensive, of course I'm gonna have to block you. I'm gonna have to ease you up out of here. Anyway, thank you for stopping in for another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm the host, Tony Ray Harvey. We will be back on Monday, December 8th, after the Kings take on the Indianapolis Pacers. Peace.